Welcome everybody. So tonight we're just going to tell you a little bit about Youthtown, and then we're going to talk to you a little bit about our journey. So first of all, does anybody know what youth development is? So youth development is actually a sector, a bit like education and sport. It's just not as large or quite as well known, but it is exactly what it says. It's about developing young people, their skills, and turning them into, or developing them into positive contributing adults for society. So we're looking for societal change. Youth development happens in a lot of different contexts. It happens in education, it happens in sport, it happens in the home, and it happens in your communities. So you may be actually developing young people in your life, your children, and you don't probably even know that you're doing it, but sometimes you're making statements, or you're making eye contact, or you're teaching them something, and that's developing them as a person. So there is actually a whole sector around us, of which we're an organisation. So Youthtown was Boys Town. Does anybody remember Boys Town and Nelson Street? So unfortunately it's gone now. And we are 85 years old. 10 years ago we started growing, and we are now the nationally operated not-for-profit organisation you see today, and we're in all these locations across New Zealand. So as Debbie said, our vision is to empower young New Zealanders to be the best they can be. We put in place a strategy 4 years ago, well our board did, and I've got a really visionary board, so that's helpful, and that's stayed with us, and it stood us in very good stead. These are our strategic goals, and I won't go through them all individually, but you'll see that the fourth one down is attract, inspire and develop exceptional people. So right at the outset, the board took this very, very seriously. You know, that was what we were about. And fortunately we had the fabulous Janine, who's gone about basically making that happen, which has been great. So here's a really simple definition of what we do. We develop programs that develop skills and knowledge to as many young people as we can. Our audience is 5 to 18-year-olds, and we talk about being an organisation that's at the top of the cliff and well back from the edge. So we're about all young children. We're not about, although we will include them in our programs where we can, we're not about young people who are already at risk, or something like, there's quite a lot of organisations and agencies that are already working with those high-risk children. So this is the pathway. Any young person can come along to Youthtown at 5. They can come into our programs. We have 4 program streams. At the moment, we are delivering across the country, as I said, and about 225,000 participations a year. So there's quite a lot going on across the country. But this slide here, we're just going to quickly whip through our 4 values. So what we mean by our values is this is what we incorporate into our program content. So we're teaching the young people these things as we go. And some simple examples might be like mastery is learning a new skill. Belonging is teaching young people to be inclusive. So I don't know if you remember when you were at school and, you know, the teacher said, you're the leaders of the team, you know, who do you want on your team and who do you want on your team? There's some poor kid, you know, at the end who had no team. We don't do that anymore. Generosity is about teaching them to care for the other people, and that might be about, you know, if they see somebody who's sitting on their own or something like that, you know, maybe one of our leaders will say to them, oh, you know, why don't you go and see if they're okay, or something. And independence is just teaching them about self-management. We also live our values internally, so one of the things that we did when we put the strategy in place was we determined that values in our program was so important to us that as staff and all our teams had to live by those values as well. So now I'll hand over to the fabulous Janine, who can tell you a bit about our equal pay journey.
Well, yes, so we're privileged, and it's an honour to tell you about our journey at Youthtown. First of all, I'll just talk about our staff a little bit. So we've got about 375 staff, and females outnumber males 2 to 1. Of that 375, there's about 100 permanent staff, and the rest are casual staff. But out of our permanent staff, over a third work part-time hours. On our senior leadership team, we've got 5 females, 4 males, and we've got 3 board members who are females, and the chair of our board is a female as well. So if we go back 18 months ago, which seems like a really, really short time, and it is really, but 18 months ago, we had no idea what our gender pay gap was. We thought we didn't have a gap because we've got salary bands, so we don't have a gap. And we really didn't realise the extent of the issue in our own organisation or in any organisation. But we did know a few things, and we knew that we were a values-based organisation. We knew that we prioritised fairness in everything that we do. We also knew that we were really proud of our staff, and we knew that we had no reason at all not to treat our staff fairly. So we decided that we didn't want to wait for the gender pay gap to close itself over the next 80 years. We wanted to do something about it. Now, this poster comes from Australia, the Human Rights Commission in Victoria. Prepare your daughter for working life. Give her less pocket money than your son. And I really like this because at Youthtown we decided that we weren't going to pay our daughters less pocket money than our sons. It just wasn't acceptable. So our journey began. So what did we do? How did we go about closing the gender pay gap in our own way at Youthtown? Well, first of all of our work in equal pay was part of our wider people and performance plan, and there's our goal that Paula talked to you about: attract, inspire and develop exceptional people. And we knew that the way that we approach fairness and the way that we approach diversity and inclusion was really critical to us achieving this goal. So we did an equal pay audit. We crunched the numbers and found that we did have a disparity, and that really inspired us to take action. We then set about reviewing how we do things, so how we pay, how we recruit, how we develop, how we manage our staff, just about everything that we could think of. We had a really good look at it, and through that gender lens. And we decided to change things up a bit. So we developed new ways of doing things, ways that ensured that we not only paid fairly, but also didn't restrict opportunities for people with families. And we're going to go through some of those examples soon. Now this is really, really important, and it's important to us. Just do it. Little changes can make a huge difference. And listening to you, it was just fantastic. You know, we made a lot of little changes, and to us that's made a huge difference, and we really feel that we've come a long way. So let's look at some highlights.
So what does it mean? Some of those changes that we made is around parental leave and people returning from parental leave. So up there is a picture of our wonderful Kaz from the finance department and her beautiful little baby son Rocco. And so we pay 1 week's extra parental leave for anybody obviously going on leave, and when they return to work or wish to return to work, they fill out a questionnaire and we try and accommodate them with some flexibility. So Kaz came to us and said, I would like to come back, but I just, I want to build up my hours over a series of time, as she was obviously getting through the breastfeeding and sorting out the nanny. As well as that, we ensure that their KiwiSaver contributions continue, and we ensure that all of our staff on parental leave are included in our remuneration reviews and any bonus opportunities. So we want to ensure that they don't fall behind in any respect when they come back from parental leave. And it's not just about the girls. So Brad here is one of our sports coaches, and he's about to become a new dad, so he will also benefit from 1 week's paid partners leave, which is more than you would normally do under your legal obligations. So we have some really cool flexible working practices. Lee and Janine at the bottom are both members of the senior leadership team, and they have flexible working arrangements with young children, so they have some time working at home as well to accommodate that. Nigel above them, also a member of the senior leadership team, has a daughter Mercedes. You might have seen them leave tonight. He leaves, goes and gets her from school, and she just hangs out here for a couple of hours so that he can manage his single fatherhood situation, and that all works fine. We also have some people who work in other towns where we don't have offices, so they're working from home. So we have one lady who works from home 4 days a week in Thames, and she comes up here for 1 day a week in the office. We do understand though that that doesn't necessarily work for all the roles, so we do look at it role by role.
Now our Mihi Te program, and Mihi Te means like a boss. And this is our wellbeing and engagement program actually that we've started to implement this year. And this program we're actually using as a vehicle to help deliver some of our equal pay ideas and projects. Mihi Te. So Mihi Te is based on the Māori holistic model of Te Whare Tapa Whā. So basically our health depends on 4 walls: physical health, family health, spiritual health and psychological health. And at Youthtown we have added learning and development as our sort of foundation of our whare and our community as the ceiling of our whare. So this is our own Te Whare Tapa Whā, and overlaying that are all of our values. And I'll show you how it relates to equal pay soon. So basically this program is all about getting points. So earning points in learning and earning points in what you do. So we have set up a whole lot of challenges, team challenges, individual challenges, family challenges and community challenges, and people earn incentives as they work through the point system. So for example, in family health, we've run a domestic violence support education sessions where people learn about how they can support people experiencing domestic violence. And that earned them 50 points, which then they can go on and get incentives. And it's things like free nights at the lodge, a day off, a sleep in, a Swiss ball, a massage, and lots of things that they can earn. We've also developed our own unconscious bias learning module where people actually take a test to learn about their own biases, and we're going to be rolling that out to everyone too, because we really want to focus on understanding our biases when it comes to recruitment, when it comes to talent management, when it comes to appraisal time. And you know, that to us can be as simple as reminding leaders at appraisal time, hey, remember, we've all got biases, now go for it. So it can be really simple. And mentoring others, so female leaders mentoring young females especially will earn points, and this is all part of generosity too, one of our values.
So some of the benefits of this approach, and I guess that we're talking to you about the wider approach that we took rather than just specifically about the equal pay thing, because we think that by taking the wider approach that's benefited us in a much larger way, and I'm incredibly proud of what we've achieved winning the Silver Award. I'm really proud as well that we have gone from a 17% employee engagement in the last 3 years to 45%, all through that approach. And what that's meant is that now we have a reputation as a great place to work. We get a lot more people applying for jobs. I get people ringing me, asking me if there's any jobs, and it means that we've got a lot more diversity in terms of the team and who works here.
But what about the cost? So people often ask me about the cost of supporting equal pay, and they ask me about how hard it is to take action. And I always say that it's not difficult and it doesn't cost much, it's not costly at all. So there are lots and lots of actions that people can take and organisations can take that don't cost much at all. So I'm talking about monitoring starting salaries. You know, you can start doing that from today. Talking about unconscious bias when you recruit the next person with the hiring leader. Flexi working, remote working, including people on parental leave in your annual REM reviews. These things don't cost a lot, and they may be little things in themselves, but they really add up to making a change. And where to from here? Well, we are going to be looking at ethnicity this year and also age. So we're putting out a survey to ask people this information about themselves. We're also looking at our women leaders mentoring others, and we're thinking about the young people in our programs, because you know the choices that people are making are happening when they're very young. So we're thinking about what can we do with the young people in our programs to help them understand that, you know, that first job that they go into, it actually they might be already starting at a disadvantage. So that's what we're going to be concentrating on going from here.
So yeah, I guess my message to you all is that if we can do it, you guys can certainly do it. It's, as Janine said, it's not difficult. It doesn't have to be too costly, and it's definitely an investment that's paying off for us. I guess my final thing would be, you know, from a personal point of view, I think women sort of undersell themselves quite a lot. I remember when I came into this role and they said, "What are your salary expectations?" And I said, "Oh, you know, they're down here," sort of thing. And they actually, when they offered me the job, it was, you know, like quite a bit more than that. But actually, I should have been saying, actually, this is what I'm worth. And I think that that's also driving the when women are coming into jobs, those starting jobs. Yeah. So we're happy to take any questions. That's it from us.
Brilliant. That's,